Whew, that intro, yeah. Hey, I am Russ. If you have watched any of my videos before, welcome back. If this is your first time, it is nice to meet you. I make outdoor adventure and photography videos mostly here in the state of Oregon. If you feel like that's something that you're into, hit the subscribe button, and if you enjoy this video, tap that little thumbs up button. Doesn't cost you anything, and it's kind of fun. In this video, we are talking graffiti photography, but you already knew that because that's the title of the video. Real quick recap here. About a month ago, I got brought in to photograph the Shamrock Run in Portland, Oregon. While there, I met another photographer named Gen X Jefferson. We talked for a bit, hit it off fairly well, and decided we'd go on a little adventure of our own. He knew this old abandoned factory that's covered with graffiti that we could go to and fly drones and take photos, and they were going to be really great photos. It does turn out that he is a much better drone pilot than I am, which I think that's probably obvious. I have a link to his channel and his Instagram page down in the description below. Go check him out. He's really great at what he does. Now, Gen X Jefferson knew of this abandoned, I believe it was an asphalt factory near the Columbia River in Portland, Oregon. Kind of near OMSI, actually. If you know where OMSI is, it was kind of near there. Now, for the point of this video, I'm going to talk about taking stunning and great photos of graffiti. We've all seen graffiti in some way, whether it's on a building or in a train or in a public bathroom. Yeah, you've all seen that. For a good time, call 555-2368. The idea is to get great photos of the art without making it look like a cluttered mess. First thing you gotta do is really just set that scene. Some of the first shots I took were really of the scene of where we were. There were wide shots down this corridor between buildings. You can see a lot of graffiti and some old buildings that are really dilapidated. There are weeds growing up all around. It's very urban and kind of very post-apocalyptic, which I really, really like that look. I love abandoned things. It pleases my soul. Getting photos of all this really does help set the stage. Now, I started getting tighter and tighter on the graffiti to showcase the art that some people have created, and some of this art was so good. It was just fantastic. When you're getting in tight on the graffiti, you want to look for interesting subjects like this hot dog. That photo isn't particularly interesting, so I decided to frame the hot dog and use this old and broken down ladder that was there. And now I've got a really great photo that shows the viewer the art. Or in this case, a funny little hot dog guy. A little ways away from the hot dog guy was a mural that I thought was really cool. While the mural was cool, it was also a little messy. There was garbage on the ground. There was scattered artwork all over the place. It was just this cluttered mess of nonsense. So I grabbed this old office chair that had been sitting there. I have no idea why this office chair was there, but I grabbed this old office chair that was sitting there and I put it in a position so it looked like the person in the mural, the subject of the mural, was looking down at it. I debated on having Gen X Jefferson sit in the chair and do kind of a portrait shot, but it was kind of gross and yeah. Now, instead of our subject looking off into nothing and it all just being a cluttered mess, the mural has meaning. It's looking down at the office chair. It's even judging the chair. It even looks like it's judging that chair. If we had a person in the chair, it would really have sold the photo hard. But again, it was kind of gross. But even with somebody not in the chair, it's not as messy and it appears to be a little more lifelike. As I was walking around, I saw this tunnel that was connected to this concrete pipe thing. I'm not sure what that was all about. I snapped one picture of it horizontally, but I thought it seemed a little bit too busy and cluttered. There was a lot more graffiti and there was a lot going on in the background with the other bits of weeds and post-apocalyptic nonsense that was happening. So in the second image that I took, it's actually really clear. It's not cluttered, and a lot of the distracting elements have been removed. You can even see the graffiti that fills the inside of the tunnel. Now, Gen X Jefferson had this great idea to start doing portrait shots, so we walked around for a while looking for interesting angles. Now, I'm not particularly great at portraits. I'm more of an action and landscape photographer. I like action sports a lot. I like wildlife, things like that. Portraits are not really my thing, but Gen X Jefferson did have this idea of getting some portraits done, so we decided, let's do it and see what happens. No matter where I looked, there was always a great background to get a great portrait with. And the sun was in just about the most perfect position it could be for some great lighting. The ground, which was just kind of like really bright concrete, it was almost white concrete, bounced a lot of the light back to really fill in those shadows quite a bit. This photo is probably one of my favorites of the day. It shows so much depth and the viewer really gets a good idea of where we were. It's also a really great photo of Gen X Jefferson. This is another one of my favorites because it shows the full environment we were in. It kind of looks post-apocalyptic with the weeds growing in the top right and the graffiti covered rubble that he's sitting on. I also took a few action shots of Gen X Jefferson as he was getting his own photos. This one, he's looking up into this, whatever that is, getting a photo. It's a nice action portrait showing him hard at work on his craft. Gen X Jefferson and I did talk about doing band photos there, like get a good punk band or heavy metal band, and this environment will be perfect at this abandoned factory covered in graffiti, very urban, very, very, very cool, actually. Personally, I think it is actually the most perfect environment for that, especially if you really want to show that grungy urban feel. As we were standing there, we could just envision all the possibilities that would open up for us in this abandoned factory. We didn't have a punk band or a metal band with us to do portraits of, but we thought it would be a great thing. It even actually might have been fun to shoot a music video there, I think. It would have been cool. Alright, I think that just about wraps it up. You can see most of my photos from this day on Instagram at RV Oregon Trails, and Gen X Jefferson's at Gen X Jefferson. If you have your own graffiti photos you'd like to share, hey, feel free to tag me in those. I'd love to see them. Until next time, peace!